Hi YouTube! So today I wanted to test all my pens and pencils that I have on my new Hobonichi cousin. So I've been already using Hobonichi starting this year, but I know the Tomoe River Paper has changed, and also I haven't been using all of the pens that are available to me. So I want to test and see how durable the Tomoe or the new Tomoe River Paper is and which pens that I can use on this planner. Also, these are some of my most used pens, so I'm hoping most of them will do fine, so I don't have to buy a whole new set of pens. And unfortunately, I do not have Tombow. I know everyone has Tombow dual brush pen. I don't have it. I just use the Mildliner and it just works well enough for me, so I just never bought it. But we are also testing watercolor because I was told that Tomoe River Paper can take watercolor as well. So I want to see how well we can take it. So let's get to testing. So for my pen test, I'm just gonna use my first daily pages because it's January 1st. I'm not probably doing anything. The journaling I think I'm gonna be doing on my bullet journal anyway, so I think I can just use this. So the first pen that I'm going to test, and actually my favorite pen to use, is going to be this Uniball Signo DX. It's the 0.38, and I use this pen to write on everything, even on my Hobonichi cousin that I already have. So I think this will be doing fine. But let's see. And this is the black color. So what I want to do a smudge test. So, oof, and it smudges quite a bit. Yeah, so it smudges quite a bit. But let me write a couple of times over to see if it would bleed through. So I went over like 3 times, and on this side I will do a smudge test after like 5 seconds. So since we're on a gel pen, my next pen that I want to test is the Muji pen, because I also use this quite a bit. I never used them on a Hobonichi before, but I have 2 Muji pens, so this is just a 0.5 and this is 0.38. So I'll test both of them. So I'll test the 0.5 first. Oof, I already know this is going to smudge a lot. I think also the Uniball also got me. Let's see. Okay, actually that did better than the Uniball. So there is some smudging, but it's a lot better than the Uniball. So sorry about that, my phone. So maybe I need to use the Muji instead. So I'm just gonna go over this a couple of times here for bleed through, and then this is gonna test in a bit. So actually it's been quite a bit, so let me test the Uniball. Okay, yep. So there is no smudge. As long as you give it a few seconds, there's no smudging. So Muji pen 0.3. I feel like this does so much better than the... Yeah, there's no smudge. I mean, there's really very minimal amount of smudging, so that's not that bad. Okay, and then let me see if there will be any bleed through. And then Muji pen, after a bit, there is no smudging at all. So after a bit, Uniball Signo or the Muji does not smudge at all. Right off the bat, Muji, the 3.08 does the best, and then it's 0.5, and then the Uniball Signo. And then on the ballpoint pens, I have this, actually I have one ballpoint pen. I have the Sarasa clip, so this is 0.3. So let me test that. Already I feel like this is gonna be so much better. Yep, there is no bleeding. I mean, there is no smudging. Then, yep, I think all of them, if you wait a second, there will be no smudging on any of them. And then let me test the pen that came with Hobonichi, because I plan to use this for my work planner, so I need to know how well this does. I'm just gonna use the black because it's the, what is this? Just Uniball. I think this is the 0. I don't remember what this was. So Uniball black. Yep, there's no smudge. I mean, they recommended this pen to use with Hobonichi products, so I'm hoping there will be no smudging, and I'm hoping there will also be no bleed through. Okay, so that's all the pens that I have. I have a fine liner, a couple of fine liners I want to test. Yeah, so I have 3 actually. I have LePen. I can never pronounce this pen, Staedtler. And then I have the Pigma Micron by Sakura. So let me test this one first. So this is the PN, so this is the plastic nib, which I use the most often, and I think this is like one of the thicker ones. And it does smudge, oh no. Then let me test the bleed through, and I will give it a second. I actually do have a much thicker version, so I have the 0.8, so I think this is thicker. So let me try, not 0.8, I'm sorry, the Micron 8, which is 0.5. So let me test this one. Oof, this is so much thicker. Okay, actually smudging is similar to the PN, so I don't think just because this is thicker, it smudges more. I'm worried about the bleed through, so I'm going over it 3 times on each of the markups. So after a couple of seconds, also the Sakura microns are doing well. And then this thing that I can never pronounce. So this is the 0.3 also. Oh no, I misspelled it. Completely butchered that handwriting. Okay, so there's not that. There's a little bit of smudge. Let me show you guys. Okay, it doesn't even pick up on the cameras, but there is that like a tiny bit of smudge, but it's not that bad. And they do advertise that they don't smudge, so I'm assuming that's also why. Let's check the bleed through. Then okay, yes. So far, after a couple of seconds, all of these are testing wonderfully. There is no smudge whatsoever if you just give all of the pens a little bit of a breathing time. And then I have the LePen. I think this is also 0.3. Yeah, I love my 0.3 pens. And this is just the blue. Gonna perform well too. Okay. A little bit. And then the Staedtler. Yeah, there's no smudge. So when it comes to fine liners, I think Staedtler does the best, and then LePen, and then the Sakura Pigma Micron. But all of them, if you give it a second, none of them smudges. I'm literally just rubbing it through, there's no smudge. And then I just wanted to look at my pencils. So I have a regular 0.5 pen, and then I have a color pencil because I also wanted to test how well the color pencil writes on here. So first my pen. I don't really use pencil that much. Pencil. I don't know if it's just me, but I did not like how the pencil wrote on the previous Tomoe River paper, but I really like it on this one. I don't think pencil smudges. Yeah, the pencil doesn't smudge. I don't think it's gonna do either. Why not? Let's test it. And then I want to see how the color pencil, I know it's not gonna bleed through or really anything, but I just want to see how well it will write on it. And I have the Faber Castell color pencil. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't smudge, of course. And actually, same thing with the color pencil. Same thing with the color pencil. I did not really like how it wrote on the old Tomoe River paper. I don't know how to explain it. It was just too smooth. But this paper actually, I like how it writes on it a lot better than the old one. Then I have 2 brush pens that I want to test. So I have the Tombow Fudenosuke and the, what are you? I bought this at the Hobonichi. I forgot what this. Oh, it's Pentel. Okay, so Pentel. Okay, so let me test the Tombow Fudenosuke first. It feels weird to write not in a script. Okay, it does smudge a little bit, not too much that it bothers me really. I don't think it's gonna even pick up on the camera. There is like the tiny bit of smudge. Yeah, it doesn't even pick up on camera. Let me see the bleed through. And this is also the soft tip as well. I don't know about the brush pen though. I like how it glided over smoothly on the previous paper better, actually. The pencils, I love this new Tomoe River paper so much better. And then the brush pen, I think I prefer the old paper better. And then this is the Pentel. So this was sold on the Hobonichi, so I'm assuming this writes well. Okay, actually this writes so much better than Tombow. Let me try not writing in script. Actually this writes so much better than Tombow. I don't know why. But it smudges like there is no tomorrow. So this is like the worst pen to write on. Let me try testing the bleed through. Oh, I'm worried about this one. Even just writing it the third time felt very wet. Okay, so Tombow after a couple of seconds, there is no smudge. I am worried about this one. And although this is not a pen, I do use it kind of like a brush pen a little bit. So this is the Mildliner, Zebra Mildliner. And I think this is a dark gray. So actually I'll write with both sides. I want to just write the Mildliner part. And then, alright. That's the dark gray. Sorry, my handwriting is terrible right now. I don't know why. I usually write on the side. So I'm trying to write straight and this is tripping me up so much. I know Mildliner does not do too well. Actually, no, that wasn't that bad. Oh my gosh, do you see my pen? I think that's from the Pentel. But it's not that bad. There is a little bit of smudging, but it's not bad. Okay. Oh, I'm kind of worried about this though. That felt like really wet. And then let's test this one. Okay. Actually, after a bit, this also did really well. So I think all of them, you just need 5 to 10 seconds to breathe. And then the last pen to test is actually the Crayola Supertips. So this is the blue one. Because my black is not black. I think they either sent me the wrong color or the black is very light. It's more like a medium. It's not even dark gray. It's not even as dark as the Mildliner dark gray. It's like a medium gray. So let me test this one. Oh, and there is that smudge. It did smudge a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely see the smudge. And then let's test the bleed through. And the Mildliner does not smudge either after a bit. Okay, so that's all the pens that I have. Let me test the Supertips. So it's been like 10 seconds, right? Okay, so none of them smudged. If I zoom in a little bit, none of them smudged when I gave them like about like 10 to 15 seconds to dry. And the worst on the gel pen is the Uniball Signo, did the worst. And then on both of the ball pens did pretty well. On the Fineliner, of course the Sakura Pigma Micron did the worst. But I would say this is kind of outlier because it's 0.5 while the other one was all 0.3. And then of course the pencils did really well. Brush pens, the Pentel, it was the worst. And then Mildliner and Crayola Supertips smudged a little bit, but mostly it did fine. And then let's flip over for any bleed through. So okay, nice. There is no bleed through at all. Of course you can see all of them, but that's really just the Tomoe River Paper is so thin. And there, when I feel it over, Staedtler, some of the sharper one, the ballpoint pen, you can definitely feel it. Yeah, most of them feels nice. Okay. And then so I want to also see how it bleeds through over to the previous page. So I kind of like pressed on it a little bit. But no, does not smudge onto the other page either. So I have actually two pens that I want to test out more. Well, it's not a pen really. I have Sharpie, and this is Namepen. So this is kind of same as Sharpie, but this is a Korean brand. So I want to just try both of them. I know these two bleed through everything, so I expect nothing, but let's see. Well, it doesn't smudge. That's good. Let's test the bleed through. And then the Namepen. So I want to test the thicker side because usually I use the thicker side. Oh no, it's running out of ink. And it does not bleed through either. Which I'm not surprised because Namepen is very similar to Sharpie. I want to actually test the thinner side. Okay, yeah, the thinner side doesn't smudge either. Let's see on the other side. Okay, so it did not bleed through, which I am very surprised. But on the Namepen, the thicker side, it almost did bleed through. It did not bleed through, but it was getting there, so it was very close. But if you actually layer it just once, because these two I layered it like 3 times, I think it's fine. Of course, you can definitely see it a lot more visible than the other one. So ghosting is pretty bad, I would say, but it did not bleed through. That's a pass for me, honestly. Let me smudge it a little bit. And it did not smudge to the next page either. Now I want to test a watercolor. So I have Sakura Koi Watercolor palette. So last test. Which color should I do? It's a dark color. So I'll do, well, I think, this is black, right? That looks black. No, that's blue. Okay, that's okay. I'll just do this color. Oh, that looks dark enough. I want to test 2 things. I want to do first one with kind of a lot watery, and then I also want to do with not as much water. So this one I'm kind of mixing with the water. I never used watercolor on Hobonichi products before, so I'm kind of nervous. So this is with a lot of water, and then let me get rid of any water residue. Should I try a different color? So this is not enough water, so it's gonna be a lot thicker. Oh, was that cheating? I went over it like twice. I'm sorry. So this side is 2 times and this is 1 time. So actually, to make it fair, let me try the other color also twice with some water. So on this side, I will go over it. Okay. I think I have to wait for it to dry a little bit. Of course, I'm not gonna test the smudge test because it's still wet. It's gonna smudge everywhere. So I'm kind of waiting for it to dry. Maybe I should have done this the first so I had time for it to dry. Okay, while waiting for it to dry, because I had 0 patience, I kind of like flipped over and it smudged onto this page a little bit. But don't worry about it too much. Let me put a tissue on the next side so it doesn't smudge too much. And on the next page, actually it holds up pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then, oh no, it's smudged a lot on the other side. But that's because it's watercolor, to be expected. But it did pretty well. Yeah. So actually oh wait, hold on. On the side with quite a bit of water that I went over twice, it is picking at the paper a little bit. So let me try to zoom in. Can you guys see that? So when it was only just 1 layer, it's fine. But when it's 2 layers, it is picking up at the paper just a little bit. Not too much that the paper like comes off, but you can definitely see it a little bit. Oh my gosh, my finger. I don't really see that on this side. I don't know if it's because it's so pigmented that I can't tell, or if it's just this is just so watery that it did that. Because I did add quite a bit of water on the watery side. So I guess maybe be careful if you're gonna go over watercolor 2 times. Okay, well that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye!